Everyone to Commissioners Court. Before we get started this morning, is there Chris Harrison in the room with us this morning? He was going to lead us in the invocations. I'd ask that our county attorney, if he would, Mr. Clint Davis, come forward and lead us in our invocation. And Commissioner McCann, the pledges, please, sir.
Dear Heavenly Father, we are so delighted at your grace, and you are our gracious Heavenly Father. And we thank you first of all and foremost for this day and the freedoms that we enjoy as Texans. Some of those freedoms will be addressed later on in the program, and we are a blessed state and a blessed nation. We thank you for the elected officials, both at the local, the state, and the federal levels. We thank you for all of those in attendance today and the great turnout, and everyone who is here to support the children of our community and the evils and the harms that are done against our children. We ask that everything that this court does today be in honor and of you and to your approval and satisfaction. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Mr. Davis, thank you. All right, the time is 9:02. We do have a quorum, so we will call this meeting of Commissioners Court to order. Are there any citizens' comments? Next item is court announcements. At this time, we have none to give, so we'll move to item 1, which is consider and take action on minutes of previously held meeting of Commissioners Court on April the 8th, 2025. Are there any additions, deletions, or comments to the meetings, to the minutes as presented?
Hearing none, Judge, I move we approve the Commissioner Court minutes
I'll second.
for April the 8th, 2025 as presented. Couldn't find my date.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley and second by Commissioner Spivey to approve the minutes of April the 8th, 2025 as presented. All those in favor of the motion? Passes unanimously. Item number 2 is consider and take action to proclaim April 2025 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And we have a crowd here today, and we have our district attorney with us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We would like to proclaim that the 2025 Sexual Assault Awareness Month is in April. We have so many supporters here with us today, including our SART team, our Help Center, representatives from our women's groups here, and so we are privileged to be here before you today.
Ms. Palmer, if you would, you've got a room full as far as organizations go. Could you give us a rundown on which organizations are here?
Yes, so we have our Help Center that is here, and would you like them to introduce themselves,
Sure.
Leslie, if you wouldn't mind introducing your staff?
So I'm Leslie Saunders. I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Maggie's House in the Henderson County Health Center. I have our Admin Support and Direct Services Support Director, Amanda Sharp. Marina Ramirez, our receptionist. Kim Williams, our Helpline Coordinator. Tanya Leeds is our forensic interviewer. And Nessa Perez is our family advocate. Debbie Stanley, our Program Director at Maggie's House. Ginger IT and compliance support, and Tricia Whitley is one of our private youth services liaisons or advocates. Sheila Davis is our Chief Operations Officer at Maggie's House Learning Center, and Kayla Stanley is our workaway team member, and she also does some stuff for us at Maggie's House.
And we also have Della here with Breaking Chains. Do you have anybody you'd like to introduce?
I've got my community coordinator, Kathy Arnold, and our president of the board, Shannon Walsh.
And we also have our Family Peace Project, if you'd like to introduce anybody.
My name is Cynthia Robles. I'm the Director and Advocate for Family Peace Project. And we are a domestic violence shelter in which we know that sexual assault is also something that happens in life. And today with me I have Sarah Brown, and she is a survivor of domestic violence and sexual assault as well.
As the court knows, our SART team was something that our Commissioners Court established. It was something that our legislature really took into play a couple years ago. And that includes representatives from the Athens Police Department, the Sheriff's Office. We have a mental health piece. Clint Davis, our county attorney, myself, and Sheriff Hillhouse. And we have just a group of people that meet quarterly to discuss our sexual assault awareness.
Well, thank you all for being here, and thank you for what you do. We've got a proclamation that you'd like to read to us?
Yes, Your Honor. Whereas April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month and calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every person in Henderson County. And whereas every day women, men, and children across Texas suffer the pain and trauma of sexual assault upon survivors in our Henderson County communities. And whereas this crime occurs far too frequently, goes unreported far too often, and leaves long-lasting physical and emotional scars. And whereas during National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we recommit ourselves to lifting the veil of secrecy and shame surrounding sexual violence, expanding support for victims, and strengthening our response. And whereas sexual violence affects individuals of all ages, backgrounds, and circumstances. And whereas, as a community, we share the responsibility for protecting each other from sexual assault, supporting victims when it does occur, and bringing perpetrators to justice. And whereas, at every level, we must work to provide necessary resources to victims of every circumstance, including medical attention, mental health services, relocation and housing assistance, and advocacy during the criminal justice process. And now, theretofore, be it resolved that the County Commissioners of Henderson County join other anti-sexual violence advocates and support service programs in the belief that all community members must be part of the solution to end sexual violence and proclaim April 2025 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We further call upon all citizens of Henderson County to come together to increase awareness about sexual violence, decrease its frequency, hold offenders accountable, support victims, and heal lives.
Thank you very much. Court, questions, comments?
I just want to thank y'all, everybody that's here and your team for protecting Henderson County.
It's a large team that y'all have put together and that help protect against this and our kids and our families. And as you said, men, women, and children across Texas and across Henderson County. So thank you for the team for what you've done and continue to do day in and day out.
Commissioner?
Thank y'all for what you do, and I think part of this proclamation that says the crime occurs far too frequently, goes unreported far too often, and leaves long-lasting physical, emotional scars is a big part of this proclamation. And thank y'all for supplying the resources that are needed to bring more attention to this.
Thank y'all for everything you do. It's very well appreciated by all people of the county.
Court, if there's no further discussion, entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam and second by Commissioner Richardson to proclaim April 2025 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Henderson County. All those in favor of the motion? Passes unanimously. And as we always do, because we would love to have a picture with all of you that are involved, please come forward at this time so we can give you all a little more recognition. No, somebody.
Okay, wait a minute.
They always with the tallest.
You're good.
Still missing one. Y'all got to get a little closer together. That'll work.
Thank you all very much. Thank you all. No, we still got to get her to sign it here. We'll get you the original. Okay. The next item on the agenda is item 3, which is consider and take action to proclaim April 21st, 2025 as San Jacinto Day in Henderson County. And with us this morning, we are pleased to have Mr. Clayton Starr with us to once again join together in this recognition.
Thank you. Whereas the Battle of San Jacinto commenced at 4:30 p.m. on the afternoon of April 21st, 1836, in what is presently Harris County, Texas, and was the decisive battle in the Texas War of Independence, led by General Sam Houston, marching into battle to the tune of "Will You Come With Me to the Bower?" and shouts of "Remember the Alamo" and "Remember Goliad." The Texans engaged and defeated Mexican dictator General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna's forces in a battle that lasted only 18 minutes. This victory assured and resulted in an independent republic, which 9 years later became the 28th state in the United States of America, our beloved state, Texas. And whereas remembering April 21st, 1836 every year is necessary and proper to remind the citizens of Athens, Texas of the sacrifices made by our ancestors, the valiant men and women who risked their lives and fortunes in the quest for independence, and to especially remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice in this quest. And whereas the citizens of Henderson County, Texas, wish to join with the James George chapter of the Sons of the Republic of Texas and all citizens of Texas in observance and remembrance of the 189th anniversary of this important event in Texas history. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the County Commissioners of Henderson County, Texas, and by this resolution, proclaim April 21st, 2025, San Jacinto Day in Henderson County, Texas. Thank you. And I have a little story if y'all are willing to listen.
Please.
Yeah, I missed out with the Texas Independence Day, but I'm getting back. This is about a man I hadn't thought about until I found him, named John Parker. He was born September 6, 1758, and died May 19, 1836. Was an American frontiersman, soldier, surveyor, minister, and diplomat. He was born in 1758 in Baltimore County, Maryland. At a young age, Parker's family moved from Maryland to Virginia, where they took part in scouting the frontier in present-day Kentucky and Tennessee, alongside Daniel Boone and other American pioneers. After the outbreak of the American Revolutionary War in 1776, frontier conflicts between Patriot settlers and British Allied Indians erupted, which led to the deaths of several of Parker's family members and friends. Parker enlisted in the Continental Army and participated in numerous Patriot campaigns in the Western theater of the American Revolutionary War. During the conflict, Parker married a woman named Sarah White in November of 1779. Parker eventually returned to Virginia, where White gave birth to a son named Daniel in Culpeper County in 1781. After the war ended in 1783, conflicts on the frontier continued as American settlers expanded westward. There he enlisted in the Georgia militia and participated in raids against the Cherokee during the Chickamauga Wars. During the Northwest Indian War, that's Ohio country, Parker worked for the federal government as a diplomat and surveyor. In 1803, Parker was given a land grant near Nashville as reward for his service during the Revolutionary War and moved there with his family by 1817. He had 11 children, many of whom had already established families of their own. Parker also rewarded with additional land grants for his services in the Northwest Indian War in the Ohio country, moving again to Crawford County, Illinois, where he became a minister in the Presbyterian Church. In 1824, White died and Parker remarried to Sarah Doody a year later, whose daughters had already married some of Parker's sons. Parker was eventually recruited by Stephen F. Austin on behalf of the Mexican government to settle in Texas as one of a group of settlers referred to as Texicans, known as the Old 300. After extensive negotiations with Austin, Parker agreed to settle in Texas in 1833. From 1834 to 1836, Parker, by now a member of the Texican militia, negotiated with local Indian tribes, scouted the Texas frontier, and constructed Fort Parker near the Navasota River in Limestone County. The fort, located near present-day Groesbeck, Texas, was situated near the boundaries of the Comanche Nation and built to protect Texican settlers against Comanche raids. While in Texas, Parker joined the Texas Rangers unit of the Texican militia. In May 1836, the Comanche, along with allied Kiowa, Caddo, and Wichita tribes, launched a large-scale raid on Texican frontier settlements, including Fort Parker. On May 19th, approximately 100 to 600 Indian raiders had overrun outlying blockhouses and settlements. They assaulted Fort Parker itself. Parker unsuccessfully attempted to rally local settlers into resisting the raiders before ordering as many women and children as possible to be escorted away from the area, guarded by several hand-picked men. Parker subsequently led a sortie against the raiders before escaping back into the fort, which was soon overrun by the Indians, who captured Parker alive and ritually tortured and scalped him, killing him. Though Doody was wounded in the raid, she managed to escape along with a son, warning nearby settlers of the raid. 4 of Parker's sons were killed by the raiders, while 5 members of the Parker family were captured. These included Parker's granddaughter, Cynthia, who was adopted into the Comanche Nation. Her father, Silas Mercer Parker, and her grandfather, John, both died during the Indian raid on Fort Parker on May 19, 1836.
You always bring, and it's been a long tradition, these stories of either our founding or our rich history, and we're so glad to have you here back, Mr. Starr.
Well, I couldn't turn it down after knowing he built Fort Parker,
Yeah.
which is a big thing around here.
Yes, sir. Cynthia Ann has a tie to Henderson County, if I remember right, in the Chandler area, correct? Martin's Mill? Okay.
I know she was buried in
Yeah, Parker.
Anderson County, south of Horner.
John Parker's brother was also, he was further south than here, but he was over in this general area also, and he was also a minister. And he established a colony back south of here a ways.
Court, questions or comments? For y'all new to coming to court on these days, you'll notice we're all wearing blue and white in our ties, and this is a long-standing tradition started 20 years ago.
And Charles, my good friend Charles he started these stories too.
Yes, sir, Mr. Charles Luna. In the continuation of honoring our history,
Yes.
both rich Texas history and with our next, we'll be discussing some of the American history. So,
Yes.
Court, discussion or comments concerning the proclamation before us? If not, entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Spivey and second by Commissioner Tooley to proclaim April 21st, 2025 as San Jacinto Day in Henderson County. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Passes unanimously. We'll move to item 4, which is consider and take action on a proclamation for the 250th anniversary of the battles of Lexington and Concord. And if y'all will remember, a few weeks ago, this court passed a resolution to help begin the 250th anniversary recognition of the signing of the independence, and this is just the first portion of it. And we have Mr. Bill Sickle with us, friend of the court. Mr. Sickle?
All right. Good morning, Court, and good morning, everybody here. I am Bill Sickle. I am with the Athens Chapter Sons of the American Revolution. And before I get started, I would ask everybody to stand that can stand while I read several names. So if you could please rise if you can. Robert Monroe, Jonathan Harrington, Samuel Hadley, Jonas Parker, Caleb Harrington, Isaac Muzzy, Ashnell Porter, John Brown, Isaac Davis, Abner Hosmer. And please, a moment of silence for them. Thank you. Please be seated. 10 men, 10 Americans. Remember this, jazz hands. Yeah. I'll come back to those guys in a little bit later. My friends, we are in the midst of the 250th anniversary of our great country. Though we declared our independence on July 4th, 1776, independence was not granted. We fought an 8-year-long, nasty war with a superpower. And it wasn't until the signing of the Treaty of Paris in 1783 that we were organized as a country and we were truly independent. The 250th anniversary of several key events, the Boston Massacre, the Boston Tea Party, the forming of the First Continental Congress, have already gone by. This April 19th is another significant event. Many historians use this date as the beginning of the American Revolution. The 250th anniversary of the battles of Lexington and Concord. The point of no return, the shot heard round the world. On April 18th, we also celebrate another historical event that cannot be overlooked. The 250th anniversary of the midnight ride of Paul Revere. Listen, my children, and you shall hear the midnight ride of Paul Revere. On the 18th of April in 75, hardly a man is now alive who remembers that famous day and year. Who doesn't remember that poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow from our school days? I may be dating myself. I don't know if they still teach this in school anymore, but I'm sure quite a few have heard this poem. Now, Longfellow's poem goes on and on and on. About a good 5 minutes worth of time for a good storyteller to recite. It's just shy of about 1,000 words. But how true is it? We know that this event did actually happen, and the thing about 1 lantern by land and 2 lanterns by sea is correct. But how many people really understand the minor significances of that ride? Not many, I would say. I'll come back to that in a minute also. This is like a Paul Harvey story. Anybody remember Paul Harvey? You know, his tagline was, right now, the rest of the story. Okay, so we're going to come back to that too. Now, Longfellow's poem goes on to say, it was 1 by the village clock when he galloped into Lexington. It was 2 by the village clock when he came to the bridge in Concord town. Longfellow's poem would have you believe that Revere made this ride alone and rode all the way from Charlestown to Concord, when in fact, neither is true. After warning Lexington, Revere met up with 2 other members of the Sons of Liberty, William Dawes and Samuel Prescott, who also had been assigned the task of warning the countryside, but took different routes to Lexington. The 3 rode towards Concord together, but were confronted by a British patrol. Dawes and Prescott escaped, but Revere was detained. His end rided there. During his escape, Dawes was thrown from his horse and he evaded the British on foot. His ride ended there. Samuel Prescott continued on to Concord to warn the town. Concord, where the colonists had a large store of arms and powder, which the capture of was the primary objective of the British force now bearing down on them. So now, forewarned, the countryside was swarming with militiamen. We know them as Minutemen. So the midnight ride was successful, and no, there were no shouts of the British are coming. The British were already there. This ride was in silence, low key, and they went from tavern to tavern, house to house, quietly giving the warning. So 3 men, 3 Americans who stood up for what they believed in. There's a lesson to be learned there. But what would have happened if they didn't? The British surely would have marched into Concord and seized the much-needed supplies for the resistance. But far worse, at Lexington, they would have apprehended 2 very prominent figures in American history who dedicated their lives to the pursuit of independence, and the revolution may have very well ended there. With the aid of Paul Revere, John Hancock, and Samuel Adams gathered a few possessions, their papers, and escaped into the night. So now you know the rest of the story. The proclamation that we are petitioning to have signed reads like this. The Sons of the American Revolution are celebrating 250th anniversary of the founding of America and have proclaimed 2024 to 2034 as the decade of the American Revolution. Whereas in 1775, there were 4,000 British redcoats in Massachusetts. General Thomas Gage, who was exercising broadly expanding powers, acted on intelligence that the local militia were stockpiling weapons. Gage ordered British troops to march to Concord to seize the arms. The British force marched into Lexington during the night, confronting local militia on Lexington Green, the village common, just as the sun was rising on April 19th, 1775. The British force was met by a contingent of 80 Lexington militiamen, known as Minutemen, composed of farmers, tradesmen, non-uniformed men, and armed with a variety of firearms, including muskets and fowling pieces. Whereas it is unclear who fired the first shot, but a skirmish ensued, during which 8 militia were killed and 1 British soldier was wounded. After restoring order, the British resumed the march to Concord. Whereas militia from throughout the region, alerted the night before, raced to intercept the British, and a battle was fought at Concord's North Bridge, where 2 more militiamen fell. 8 at Lexington, 2 at Concord, 10 men. The British, seeing the swarming militia, retreated back to Boston. A running battle ensued between the retreating British and the arriving militias. In all, 95 Patriots and 273 British were killed. Whereas the battles of Lexington and Concord roused New Englanders to join forces and lay siege to Boston, leading many formerly neutral colonists to support resistance. They showed that citizen soldiers could stand up to regulars, something previously doubted by both sides. Now, therefore, we, the county judge and commissioners of Henderson County, encourage all citizens to join with the sons and daughters of the American Revolution to commemorate this important event in the history of our great country.
Thank you, Mr. Suckle. Remembering our history, especially at this time, is what gives us context and understanding of what is happening today, what is today. And I would be remiss if I believe I saw our historical commission in the back. We appreciate all of the efforts of all the organizations that keep this pushed forward into the forethoughts in mind, especially as we see into the 250th anniversary. Court, questions or comments?
We enjoyed this.
Thank you for what both of y'all have done for over the last 20 years, but I have a lot of jackets, but I don't have one of those in my repertoire. I would love to have that, sir. But anyway, thank you for what y'all do and keeping our history alive. And I'd be remiss by not saying thank you for what you do, because my daughter's a Texas history major, and she would be grateful to be here today. Thank you.
Commissioners.
Thank y'all for continuing to come.
Thank you, sir, and everything that you do. We enjoy your history. I love studying history and looking back on these things that happened, and that's one thing we got to learn from is history, and everybody doesn't ever need to forget that. Thank you.
Court, entertain a motion on the proclamation.
So moved to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson and second by Commissioner McCam to approve the proclamation of the recognition of the 250th anniversary of the battles of Lexington and Concord as presented. All those in favor of the motion? Passes unanimously. Mr. Suckle, Mr. Starr, if y'all would, please come forward and let's have a picture taken with both of you.
Sir, I would like, in case I lost somebody, earlier I read the names of 10 men, 10 Americans. These men were the first to fall for the fight of independence on April 19th, 1775. And as a descendant of many of the heroes of the American Revolution, I refuse to allow their names to just fade away into obscurity.
Thank you, sir. Both of them. If y'all would, come on. Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief, not all hats were triangle back then.
Ms. Brown?
Not everybody looked like it.
Yes, we need you up here, please. Send us into it. There you go. We'll allow a hat.
Thank you. I'm pushing the envelope. That's what we do.
Tighten up. Ms. Brown. Yeah, come on.
I had my picture made.
Good.
Well, sure. Okay. I think we need to speak down some. Maybe not.
I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much. And we'll be seeing more.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you all. Item number 5, consider and take action on order supporting codification of the Northeast Health Care Provider Participation District in the Health and Safety Code. And this morning, we have Mr. Buddy Daniels with us with UT Health to discuss what we're doing here today.
Good morning, Court, Judge, Commissioners. Wanted to present this motion to you. About 3 years ago, to be exact, May 1st, 2023, we entered into what we called the Northeast Healthcare Provider Participation District. What this allows us to do is to take care of our underinsured, non-insured patients within Henderson County. If you recall, the hospital is a lease from the county, so therefore we do need the county in a partnership in order to draw state funds to counteract the free care that we give essentially out of the hospital, or that's not reimbursed. So on May 1st of 2023, we formed this this participation district. And within section 300A.0155, it has it to where it expires September 1st, 2025. This participation agreement. What we're proposing is by the court, if we could get Judge McKinney to sign a order supporting codification of the Northeast Healthcare Provider Participation District in the Health and Safety Code, which essentially all we're asking to do is remove that expiration date of September 1st, 2025. There's a piece of legislation working its way through the House right now. It is the State Bill 1443, and it's being sponsored by Senator Hughes and Senator Nichols to remove the expiration date to allow these counties, which there are 3 counties in our district, which is Lamar, Henderson, and Hopkins, to continue to participate and draw down these funds with the state to get reimbursement for the free care and the underinsured care that we provide within Henderson County. So what we're seeking is approval and a motion for the judge to sign to codify this and remove that expiration date.
Court, questions? Currently, there are 3 members, of which Ms. Monk represents Henderson County on that board, and there's one from each other county. As Mr. Daniels said, this was created as a way to draw additional funding into our area, and the reason of that was that the existing program that was in place was reaching its limit in what could be addressed with the growth that has been going on in our East Texas region. So it pushed for us to take action in '23 for this creation, and it's, from all indications, it's been a fantastic program. Ms. Monk, any comments? Okay. And what this is shows our representatives in Austin that we support the proposed legislation and encourage them to pass said legislation. Any further questions, comments? Hearing none, entertain a motion on the order.
So moved to approve with the judge's authorization to sign.
This, we have it set up where everyone signs.
Okay, with all signatures.
Yes.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Spivey, second by Commissioner Richardson, to approve the order supporting codification of the Northeast Health Care Provider Participation District into the Health and Safety Code as presented. Any further discussion? Appreciate the assistance that the partnership between UT Health and the county, and we look forward to more.
We've been expanding our services. This definitely helps in regards to recouping some losses, so to speak, for your uninsured, underinsured patients that we treat within Henderson County. It's our continued goal to continue to take care of presents themselves within Henderson County at our hospital with care. So thank you. Thank you all.
Any further comments? All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item number 6, consider and take action on a request for refund of overpayment of taxes from the Henderson County Tax Assessor Collector.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have 5 refund checks for court approval totaling $28,622.71.
Court, questions? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to refund on the overpayment of 2024 taxes.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson and second by Commissioner McCam to approve the request for refund of overpayment of taxes from the Henderson County Tax Assessor Collector as presented. All those in favor of the motion? Passes unanimously. Thank you, ma'am. Item 7, consider and take action to reappoint member to the Henderson County 911 Communication Board of Directors. Court, it is the time for the reappointment. We have 2 slots on this board, or this 5-member board. What we have before us today is the reappointment of Jody. Where is he? There he is. He wants to see if I'm going to say his last name correctly. Jody Vincic. And Vincic. Known him for 20 years. Mr. Vincic, this board, you've been on now for quite a while. 4 years, I believe?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything you want to share with the court?
No, sir, I enjoy doing it. I think it's a great thing, and there's a good group of people on that board. I think they do good things for Henderson County.
Court, questions? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
So moved to approve.
I'll second the
Second.
motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley and second by Commissioner Richardson to reappoint Jody Vincic to the Henderson County 911 Communication District Board of Managers. We still have 1 slot that hopefully we're going to have interview before too long with the interested individuals to bring before the court so we can get that last spot filled. Any further discussion or comments? All those in favor of the motion? Passes unanimously. Item number 8 is consider and take action on Henderson County 911 Communication District Budget Summary for fiscal year May the 1st through May 1st, 2025 to April 30th, 2026. In court, in your backup, we have before us the proposed budget that statutorily that they must file with the county. Gives you a breakout of the expenses, the revenues, who is actually members of the district. As you can tell, there are 15 law enforcement agencies that are supported, 23 per this list of first responders, and a list of cities. There is the past capital improvements that has been, where the funding has been expended upon. It's quite lengthy as they continue to transform what our communication infrastructure is. I'm sure many of you remember how we have moved away from the copper lines to the voice over IP, which has changed much of how the 911 districts operate, along with the cell coverage, and having the geolocate with cell phones, something they've been working on for a number of years now, and it gets better and better. We're very fortunate to have our own district. One of the foresight of previous courts to create this thing cannot be overstated, given the fact if not, we would be subject to sending all of our fees to Austin just to be turned around and sent back with less money in it. So this district allows us to keep our fees here to support our 911 communications. Court, questions or comments concerning the proposed budget? And again, this is for filing purposes. Hearing no questions or comments, we'll entertain a motion of acceptance.
I'll make a motion to accept the 911 budget as presented for filing purposes only.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner McCam, to approve the acceptance of the Henderson County 911 Communications District Budget Summary for fiscal year May the 1st, 2025 to April 30th, 2026, for filing purposes only. All those in favor of the motion? Passes unanimously. Item number 9, consider and take action on the Henderson County Emergency Service District Number 10, 2023-2024 Annual Financial Statement in accordance with HB 3764 for filing purposes only. In court, this is the current financial statements and filing affidavit for ESD 10. They have also filed their 22-23s as well for last year. So that brings ESD 10 up to date. Any questions? Comments?
I would like to commend the chairman or the president of ESD 10, Mr. Cates. There was some sickness in this group, and the person that was filing these kind of had to step away from the board. So Mr. Cates, for the last 2 months, has worked vigorously to try to get this information to the court, and so I commend his work.
Further comments? Entertain a motion.
I move we approve the Henderson County Emergency Service District Number 10, 2023-2024 Annual Financial Statement in accordance with House Bill 3764 for filing purposes only.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley and second by Commissioner Spivey to approve the Henderson County Emergency Service District Number 10, 2023-24 Annual Financial Statements in accordance with HB 3764 for filing purposes only. All those in favor of the motion? Passes unanimously. Item number 10, consider and take action on request for Appendix U discretionary exemption for Division of Land, parcel ID 311436, and associated with Lane Boggin and Bryce Boggin located in Precinct 2. Commissioner.
Yes, Court. Ms. Reynolds is the property owner at parcel ID 311436. And she is asking to cut out 5.96 acres to sell this property. Mr. Strom?
Good morning, Court. As Commissioner Tooley stated, this is a discretionary exemption request from Ms. Reynolds. She's the property owner that is requesting this. It's a kind of a simple division out of a tract. If you look at the larger tract, it looks like there may have been two prior divisions of land. Both of those appear to be over 20 years ago. One of them was, I believe, a conveyance to a water supply corporation, and then another one was keeping the property where both of those tracts were with the same owner. And so this is really the true division of land that would go to a third party. And so that person is seeking a discretionary exemption from the platting requirements because it's not a large subdivision.
Court, questions?
I believe Ms. Reynolds, could you come to the microphone, please?
Yes.
Good morning. Just a couple of questions. You're the owner of this parcel that's dividing into two tracts,
Yes.
and you're not a real estate developer or real estate agent or anything like that. Also, you checked the box of a floodplain drainage assessment has been conducted, and you've self-done that, knowing that there's no floodplain in that area.
Yes.
And you as the owner have not been a part of any other divisions of land in the past 5 years?
No.
I have no other questions, Judge.
Court, questions? Ms. Reynolds, thank you, ma'am, for your testimony. Mr. Strom, anything further?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Commissioner?
I move we approve the request for Appendix U discretionary exemption of a division of land for parcel ID number 311436, Logan and Boggin and Bryce Boggin, located in Precinct 2.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley and second by Commissioner Spivey to approve the request for the Appendix U discretionary exemption for division of land, parcel ID number 311436, located in Precinct 2.
I add with the judge's authorization to sign.
With the judge's authorization to sign. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Oops, excuse me. Passes unanimously.
Thank you, Court.
Item 11, receive financial reports. We have none of those today. Item 12, consider and take action on payroll distributions and accounts cash sheet, of which we have none. Item 13 is consider and take action on submitted contracts, of which we have none. Item 14, consider and take action on requests for right-of-way permits.
One has precinct 4.
Commissioner Richardson?
Yes, Court, this is a utility line activity for Brightspeed to install aerial and underground fiber. They came to the court, one of these plans that they have here, we had passed it in January, and I looked over it and I confronted them about it, and they said that they'd made some changes on it that went from aerial to underground, so they wanted to resubmit the permit on there for these roads, and then they added some other ones to it also. But altogether, they're looks like they're 41,547 foot of underground and aerial fiber.
Court, questions? Entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion for proposed utility line activity for Brightspeed for 41,547 foot of new aerial and underground fiber strand in the right-of-way of county roads 4804, 4806, 4807, Dusty Road, Peninsula Drive, 4816, 4817, 4819, 4825, and 4910, located in Precinct 4,
Second.
with Commissioner's authorization to sign.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner Tooley to approve the right-of-way agreement with Brightspeed Communications for the installation of aerial and underground fiber optics along in the amount of 41,547 feet along the aforementioned roads with the Commissioner's authorization to sign. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 15, consider and take action on submitted budget amendments, which we have none. Item 16 is consider and take action on payment of bills. Ms. Carpenter.
Yes, sir. We have fiscal year 2025 in the amount of $214,119.49.
Commissioner Spivey.
I have no questions, Judge.
Commissioner Tooley.
I have none.
Commissioner McCam.
I have none.
Commissioner Richardson.
No questions, Judge.
Entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2025 bills in the amount of $214,119.49 as presented.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner Spivey to approve the 2025 bills in the amount of $214,119.49 as presented. All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 17 is consider and take action on submitted plats.
We have one plat in precinct 2, and all fees are paid.
Commissioner?
4.
Oh, it looks like Commissioner Ford.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, Court, this is a subdivision out east side of Athens. They've got 2 lots that they're dividing and cross both lots to replat to make one lot on one side where they go from one road to the other all the way through.
Court, questions? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to replat lots 7 and 14 in the Woodville suburban estates for a final plat creating lots 7-R and 7-R1 located in precinct 4 for filing purposes only.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson and second by Commissioner McCam to approve the replat of lots 7 and 14 in the Woodville suburban estates, creating lot 7R and 7-R1 for filing purposes only. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Passes unanimously. Item 18 is open and consider bids. Mr. Torres.
Good morning. So we have the averages for the RFQ panic button responses. The committee met and scored the 3 responses, and it looks like they ranked, fall in order. AIL Security Solutions ranked first, Synergix ranked second, and Alertus ranked third out of the 3 responses.
Court, this is the panic button security bid that we put out as a qualifications, a formal proposal for qualifications. The committee met a week ago and reviewed those, and this is the ranking from the individual members, and want to present that to the court for your blessing, for us to then begin the process of negotiations. We're looking at addressing 20 buildings, not just the individual courthouses, but all of the county buildings. We have this before us to be able to leverage new technology involving our radio system that will help in securing these locations and getting help when and ever if it is needed. Be happy to answer any questions. If there are none, we have a motion to accept the rankings as presented.
I make the motion to accept the rankings for the panic button.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCann, second by Commissioner, Tooley, to accept the rankings of the panic button RFQ responses as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 19, consider and take action to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner McCann, to adjourn at 9:57. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Passes unanimously.